All right, guys. So obviously we need to talk about the CS2 markets today, because if you go on Price Empire right now, you will see that we are currently sitting at a negative $24 trillion market cap. I think that number is. I don't even know, but obviously, if you look at that, things are not looking good. I saw somebody commented on my Discord. I think they were like, "So what? I have to pay somebody to take my skins now?" Like, hey, things are super, super weird. But not only that, we have seen actually, being more serious, people all around the markets talking about how things are actually tanking, saying how we're actually seeing the dead cat bounce now and all that stuff. So in this video today, I want to take a look at what's actually going on with the market, what things are actually down, is the market actually crashing, is it time to buy the dip, or are we just going to keep going even lower and lower and lower? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Today's video is sponsored by Skinland, and they're offering you a $10 bonus right now if you go over and sell your skins to them. All you have to do is click on the skins that you're looking to get rid of and then select one of their many convenient payout options, and that's it. But it gets even better because they're also offering you the ability to get some of your money instantly cashed out. No more waiting for that annoying 7-day trade hold. You can get some of your money right away. Skinland is now the official partner of Team Vitality, one of the biggest CS2 teams in the world. The best work with the best, and even Team Vitality chooses Skinland. Also, if you're looking to change up your inventory and buy some skins, due to the recent market crashes, prices are way down. So if there is a knife, a glove, an expensive skin that you've been wanting for a long time, you might want to go check out Skinland with that first link in the description below right now. So I want to start by taking a look at Steam DT. This is a place that tracks, Chinese market prices. And what we can see here is obviously pre-update, the entire market index was at a certain level, and obviously we crashed way down. We saw this absolutely insane drop in the West, but we saw an even more insane drop on the Chinese side of things. So we saw an even lower dip, but obviously the market as a whole has rebounded massively since then. And during this last couple of weeks, this time period where a bunch of people are now saying, oh, the market's crashing again, market crash 2.0, oh, now it's the real dead cat bounce, we're going lower, whatever. Things look mostly flat, and we are obviously nowhere near the bottom of the market or anything like that. And yes, if you start to zoom in a little bit, maybe you get a little bit more context on this stuff. We can try to zoom in a little bit here, and it takes a second to zoom in on this side. I wish these tools were a little bit better, but you can see here, if we zoom in a little bit more, things have been very rocky over the last couple of weeks, and things are very volatile. So depending on when you've bought during the last 2 weeks, if you time the bottoms, you time the tops, whatever, you might be up a little bit, you might be down a little bit. And obviously, as a cash trader myself, I've seen increased volatility in these markets. I've done some deals over the past couple weeks where I have lost money. There's other traders out there who are talking about this phenomenon as well. I have Tech Savvy here saying still selling some skins, mostly knives at a loss. This market is dropping fast. You have, I believe we have a tweet from Ivan here as well, said market is crashing more than ever. I don't know what the reason is, but it doesn't look good. I lost money on every single trade I made. And again, these are cash traders. These are traders. These are people who buy items at a discount. So if they are losing money on their deals, like I've lost some money on my deals over the past couple of weeks as well, that means the market is very volatile. It means the market is going down pretty fast. But again, I'm not down on all my deals. I still have some deals where I'm making money, losing money, whatever. It's just increased volatility. It just depends exactly, the time that you decided to check the market prices and all that stuff. But again, when we look at this like market index overall, we do not see that things are like necessarily crashing. Yeah, we're down from where we were. This is November 2nd, so we're down from where we were like 2 weeks ago for sure. But we're also up from where we were, 13 days ago. Like there is just a ton of ups and downs, and every time you check the markets right now. But it also depends the item classes that you're looking at. Obviously, if we dive a little bit more into the specific item classes, this is the knife index, which again saw, this is like the daily chart, saw an absolutely massive downward movement with the new update. Obviously, we know knives got hit hard, we know golds got hit hard, but then we've seen a strong bounce back, and then we've seen a dip back down. So the overall knife market, since November 3rd, is down about 10%. Now, in that, there is a ton, especially the cheaper knives. It really does seem like to me when I'm checking prices that the cheaper knives are getting hit the hardest. I think all knives across the board, again, the entire knife market over the past couple weeks is down 10%. So in that, there's going to be things that are down less than 10%. There's going to be things that are down way more than 10%. So knives across the board do seem like they're dropping a little bit, and especially the lower tier stuff. Again, I bought some lower tier knives because a bunch of people are doing trade ups and trying to sell their stuff, whatever. I did end up losing money on those deals, but depending on where you're at in the markets, you're feeling these things differently. We also have the gloves index here, where gloves obviously saw a big dip down. They saw a rebound. Gloves seem like they've been a little bit more steady though. Gloves didn't rebound as well, and also haven't dropped as much since then. I think from the top that we saw back here on November 2nd, we're down about 7 or 8%, so less than 10%, but still about the same thing. Gloves are maybe down 10% from the most recent upward trend in the market that we did see. Something really, really crazy here was I wanted to show this agent graph because, again, agents, another thing, all things got hit. Once this new update came out, the entire CS2 market crashed. We saw a big dip across the board. I think my mic was been a little bit too high for this video. So we saw a big kind of dip across the board in everything, but then agents actually recovered. We saw almost a complete like V-shaped recovery for agents. They almost got back to exactly where they were pre-update, which is insane. And then they have started tanking again. Agents up here were at 18,650 down to 14.2 now. That is a big drop. So agents saw a big run up, a big recovery, and now we're seeing a big fall off. Who knows where those agent prices are exactly going to settle out at. Now, I will say agents are something I have been warning people about for a while. Agents have been on an insane bull run over the past couple of years, and I know agents are have some good fundamentals. They're very limited. Even though they're not consumable, they're still very limited, but there's also the risk of more agents coming out in the future, maybe getting a new Armory collection with some agents, or something like that. Who knows what the heck Valve's going to do. They could also do just like agent customization, which has been leaked and teased and speculated about a bunch, but agent prices are insane. They recovered fast. They're crashing hard again. So agents, if you bought agents within the last couple of weeks, you're probably down pretty bad. But again, you also have to zoom way out, and if you bought agents anytime within the last couple of years, you're still up massively even from where we are right now. So it's all context, and it's all depends what you're looking at, what time frame you're looking at, because again, even if the market is, in a little bit of a downtrend right now, golds are slipping a little bit, agents are crashing. You do have containers, which this is not cases, but this is containers. So this is cases plus capsules plus, souvenir packages. This is like everything that contains skins or stickers or anything to my knowledge. Again, we saw a big crash, but we've seen a big recovery and a little bit of a downward movement. But again, cases, containers, stuff like that, they are still slipping a little bit over the past couple weeks. But again, it doesn't seem like as much of a crash to me. But again, another thing where if you zoom out, cases, capsules, whatever, they're up insane over the past couple of years. They're doing insanely well. Obviously, we know a lot of money is piling into stickers right now because of this new slab update and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think my kind of point in this whole video, I guess, is that people are overreacting a little bit. I've gotten so many comments, because originally people were talking about, oh, this is going to be a dead cat bounce, like whatever, we're going to go up and we're just going to crash down lower and lower and lower. And I had been making videos like, no, I don't think it's a dead cat bounce. Like, we're going to see some volatility. I think we're probably, people were max panic, max fear, max depression when the market crashed all the way down to the lowest. We are recovering a bit. That doesn't mean we're going to go straight up back to the moon. That doesn't mean we're going to go straight up back to all-time highs, but there's always volatility in the market. There's always ups and downs. Just because we're seeing a little bit of a down right now, or even just some increased volatility, again, when I look at the charts, it doesn't even necessarily see that we're, doesn't even necessarily say that we're seeing like downward across the board. We're seeing ups and downs and everything. It just depends what you're looking at, when you're looking at it, what day, what time, all that stuff. Again, I've lost money, I've made money. There's items that are going up and down. Again, covert's doing well, stickers doing well. There is some things still performing okay in this market. Cases holding up better than some other stuff. But just because we are seeing a little bit of a down period, again, when you look at what a dead cat bounce is supposed to be, it's that sharp decline, it's a recovery, and then the downtrend continues where you end up going lower than those lows and you have that downtrend going on. Now, again, if you're saying this is a dead cat bounce and we're in the middle of a bear market, we're going to keep going lower, lower, that means you think we're going to end up, all the way down here. Like if we can zoom out a little bit on this and show what's going on, that means you think we're going to end up not only back to these lows that we saw, dude, how is this going this low? This is crazy. Not only back down to these lows that we saw, which we are very, 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 very far away from, but it means you think we're going to go even lower than that. And again, you have to remember that at this time, people were panic selling everything, and also people trade reverse at that time as well, but people were selling, their Gunganiers, their Dragon Lores, their high tier insane items for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% off. So that means like not only do you think people are going to be doing that again, but they're going to be doing even much more. It's crazy. And again, when you look at this graph, this is a sharp downward decline, a recovery, and then pretty flat across the board in the market over the past couple weeks. This graph to me is not like, oh, we're free falling, we're panicking, whatever. But I am starting to get more people on Twitter being like, oh, I told you, you idiot. I told you we were going to crash back down. I told you it was a dead cat bounce, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's really not even what we're seeing. It's not really what I see in the markets at all. Now, again, yes, we are seeing some prices go down. We're seeing, ROIs on Armory dropping and stuff like that. Here's currently what we have. Armory not really looking that great right now. Yeah, you have Sport and Field Collection at 126, Elemental at 118. That's great. I do think that this could potentially be a very, very big buying opportunity in the Armory, because again, now that we've seen stuff from the Armory go discontinued, we know that the next Armory rotation is probably going to be like March, April, May, something like that of 2026. So you have a chance to maybe stock up on some of the stuff that you think could potentially go discontinued on the next update now at some cheaper prices. We see the stuff that even has been removed from the Armory already. You see character craft stickers right now sitting at a 200% ROI. They actually peaked at around a 265% ROI. So obviously those prices are down over the past month or two. Same thing with graphic design collection, peaked at a 267% ROI. So again, down to 172, definitely down big from where it was at the beginning of October. So things are sliding a little bit there. But I will say, we are still expecting, the Budapest Major is coming up, going to be starting soon. Major viewership for that, I assume, is going to be very good. People are going to be hyped up and excited. It's going to bring people back. We are, getting into the winter months now where people are going to be inside. They're going to be playing games. We can expect, hopefully, a big update or two from Valve still left to be had in 2025, and definitely some big stuff planned for 2026 after they get back from their holiday vacations and stuff like that. And yes, we are seeing, cases prices continue to slide a little bit, but that is something that I love to see. That's something I'm hyped up and excited about. We see the recoil case, this thing dipped down to 38 cents during this craziness, then all the way back up to 54. Now it's sliding all the way back down again. We're sitting at 39 cents. We're almost at the lows of what we saw for cases. And again, cases, if you're like me and you think they're the S plus tier investment of the CS2 world, you love buying the dip on cases, and the recoil case, which is right now the cheapest case in the game, getting to buy it at an even cheaper price, like that is amazing. That's something that I'm very, very, very excited about. But again, you can see the same for some of these other cases. Snakebite, at the very bottom of this stuff was at 52 cents. Now this thing's at like 63 cents, so it's still up a little bit from where it was at the bottom of this very, market insanity, but it's still, lower than it was pre-update, which again, I think the snakebite is still long-term is going to be great. Fracture was, 50 cents at the bottom of this whole thing. Right now we're sitting at about 67. Again, this thing is sliding a little bit. It's dipping, but as it goes lower and lower and lower, I would love to buy more. Gallery case, this is one that I talked about. As it gets closer to $1, it's definitely one that I love. It was $1.22 at the bottom. It's $1.47 right now. So I don't know. There's opportunities in the market right now. Is the market crashing? Are we going to go lower than we did during the update? I don't think so. Is this a proof that we're in the middle of a dead cat bounce and we're in the middle of a downtrend and CS investing is dead and Counter-Strike's dead and all that stuff? No. Is this whole situation kind of funny because people who trade reversed, we are now kind of going back down and we're going to end up maybe at a point where they would have been better off not trade reversing something like that? Yes, that would be absolutely hilarious. If people who trade reversed end up still being down on their trades, I would love that. That would be hilarious. That would be karmic justice or whatever. But is this the end of CS2 investing? No, absolutely not. If you are a CS2 investor, if you are bullish on CS2 in the long term, which I think, I am, and I think you should be, and if you're not, you shouldn't be CS2 investing, shouldn't be watching these videos or whatever, but I'm somebody who loves a little bit of a discount. I'm somebody who loves a little bit of a sale. I'm somebody who loves to see some of these prices going down and stuff like that. And again, right now you have people like this celebrating, being like, nah, why did the dead cat actually bounce? But again, even in this screenshot right here, they're showing from Esport Fire, you can see we're still, hundreds of thousands away from that absolute bottom of the market. And not only do we have to get back to that point for the downtrend to be, solidified and continued, not only do we have to get back to that point that we were previously, we have to go even lower than that, which I think there's absolutely no chance. I think if you look at the history of CS, it's a big, giant upward trend. As the game grows, as the player base grows, as more money comes into the markets, that's what we've always seen. I think it's what we're going to continue to see. So no, I don't think this is the dead cat bounce confirmed. I don't think this is the market crash part 2. I don't think we're going lower. There is some volatility. There is some ups and downs, but ups and downs are completely normal. There's always ups and downs. Everything's going to be okay. And honestly, if there is great stuff out there, stuff that you love, stuff that you truly believe in, and you see it at a little bit of a discount, you see it at a little bit of a downtrend, that's just an opportunity to buy the dip. But I think obviously after this insane update where we saw this sharp decline in market insanity, we are seeing some increased volatility. That is to be expected. But just because you're seeing increased volatility doesn't mean it's the end of the world, doesn't mean it's a market crash. CS was already insanely volatile, it was already insanely risky, and we're just getting more of a taste of that. But that'll also even out in the long run as well. Markets go through volatile times and boring times, whatever. It's just something to get used to. It's part of the normal market cycle. I don't think it's a dead cat bounce. I don't think we're going lower. I don't think we're going to all-time lows. I don't think we're going to zero. I don't think knives are going to be worth $10. But yes, trade-ups have been insane. People have been printing out a ton of golds, but trade-up ROIs are getting, lower and lower. People are less and less incentivized to keep doing those gold trade-ups. Things are starting to even out. Things are starting to make a little bit more sense, and I think the markets are going to be okay. But I'm definitely keeping my eye out for, Armory items, discontinued items, cases, stuff like that I can buy at a dip, because I think those are still some big money-making opportunities in the long run. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then.